A Blind Singer by Susan Coolidge. Uncovered of a leafy porch where woodbine clings and roses drip their crimson leaves, he sits and sings, with soft brown crest erect to hear and dropping wings. Shut in a narrow cage which bars his eager flight, shut in the darker prison house of blinded sight, alike to him are sun and stars, the day the night. But all the fervor of high noon, hushed, fragrant, strong, and all the peace of moonlit nights, when nights are long, and all the bliss of summer eves, breathe in his song. The rustle of the fresh green woods, the hum of bee, the joy of flight, the perfumed weft of blossoming tree, the half-forgotten rapturous thrill of liberty. All blend and mix, while evermore, now and again, a plaintive puzzled cadence comes, a low refrain, caught from some shadowy memory of patient pain. In midnight black, when all men sleep, my singer wakes, and pipes his lovely melodies, and thrills and shakes. The dark sky bends to listen, but no answer makes. Oh, what is joy! In vain we grasp her purple wings, unwon, unwooed, she flits to dwell with humble things. She shares my sightless singer's cage, and so he sings. A Farewell by Susan Coolidge. Go, sun, since go you must. The dusky evening lowers above our sky which was so blue and sweetly fair. Night is not terrible, that we should sigh. A little darkness we can surely bear. Will there not be more sunshine by and by? Go, rose, since go you must. Flowerless and shall the winter draweth nigh. Closed are the blithe and fragrant lips which made all summer long perpetual melody. Cheerless we take our way, but not afraid. Will there not be more roses by and by? Go, love, since go you must. Out of our pain we bless you as you fly. The momentary heaven the rainbow lit was worth whole days of black and stormy sky. Shall we not see, as by the waves we sit, your bright sail winging shoreward, by and by? Go, life, since go you must. Uncertain guest and whimsical ally, all questionless you came, unquestioned go. What does it mean to live, or what to die? Smiling we watch you vanish, for we know somewhere is nobler living, by and by. A Home by Susan Coolidge. What is home? A guarded space wherein a few unfairly blessed shall sit together face to face and bask in pure and be at rest, where cushioned walls rise up between its inmates and the common air, the common pain and pet and screen, from blows of fate or winds of care, where art may blossom strong and free, and pleasure furl a silken wing, and every laden moment be a precious and peculiar thing, and past and future softly veiled in hidden mists shall float and lie, forgotten half, and unassailed by the hope or memory, while the luxurious present weaves the perfumed spells untried, untrue, broiders her garments, heaps her sheaves, all for the pleasure of a few? Can it be this, the longed-for thing which wanderers on restless foam, unsheltered beggars, birds on wing, aspire to dream of, Christian home? No, art may bloom in peace and bliss, grief may refrain and death forget, but if there be no more than this, the soul of home is wanting yet. Dim image from far glory caught, fair type of fairer things to be, a true home rises in our thoughts, a beacon seat for man to see. Its lamps burn freely in the night, its fire glows on chidden sheet, the cheering and abounding light on homeless folk uncomforted. Each sweet and secret thing within gives out a fragrance on the air, a thankful breath sent forth to win a little smile from others' care. The few they bask in closer heat, the many catch the farther ray. Life higher seems, the world more sweet, and hope and heaven less far away. So the all to miracle anew has warred on earth and proved good, and crumbs a portion for a few. God bless the fishes a multitude. A Lonely Moment by Susan Coolidge. I sit alone in the grave, the snow falls thick and fast, and never a sound have I heard all day but the wailing of a blast, and the hiss and click of the snow whirling to and fro. There seems no living thing left in the world but I. My thoughts fly forth on restless wing and drift back wearily, storm-beaten, buffeted, hopeless and almost dead. No one wears to care, not one to even know, of a lonely day into dull despair, as the hours ebb and flow, slow lingering, as fain to lengthen out my pain. And I think of the monks of old, each in a separate cell, hearing no sound except when tolled the stated convent bell. How could we live and be with silence everywhere? And I think of tumbling seas, 'neath cruel lonely skies, and shipwrecked sailors overseas, stretching their hungry eyes dimmed with wasting tears for weary years on years. Pacing the hopeless sand, wistful and wan and pale, each foam-flashed like a beckoning hand, each wave a glancing sail, and so for days and days, and still the sail delays. I hide my eyes in vain I try to smile, but urgent vision comes again, the sailor on his isle, with none to hear his cry to help him live or die. And with a pang a thought breaks o'er me like the sun, of a great listening laugh which courthouse accents every one, nor lost one faintest word, but always, always heard. The monker's vigil pale caught lightened with a smile, the sailor's courage need not wail upon his lonely isle, for where as where by sea or land the piting lord stood close at hand. O coward heart of mine, when storms shall beat again, hold firmly to this fort divine, as anchorage in pain, where lonely woe seems to be, the Lord is near, remembering we. A Thunderstorm by Susan Coolidge. The day was hot and the day was damp, save for cricket's cheer of the bee's low hump. Not a bird was seen or a butterfly, and never till noon was over the sun glared down with a yellow and terrible eye. Glared down in the woods, where the breathless boards hung heavy and faint in a languid drowse, and the ferns were curling with thirst and heat. Glared down on the fields, where the sleepy cows stood munching the grasses, dry and sweet. When a single cloud rose up in the west, with a base of grey and a wide, wide crest, it rose and it spread a mighty wing, and swooped at the sun, though he did his best, and struggled and fought like a wounded thing. And the woods awoke, and the sleepers heard, each heavenly hanging leaflet stirred with a little expectant quiver and frill, as the cloud bent over and uttered a word, only a wallowing, rolling syllable. And once and again came the deep, low tone, which only the thunder lips is known, and the earth held up her fearless face and listened, as if to a signal blown, a signal trump in some heavenly place. The trumpet of God obeyed on high, a signal to open the granary and send forth his heavenly loaded rains, rambling and roaring down the sky, and scattering the blessed, long-harvested rains. A Year by Susan Coolidge. She has been just a year in heaven, unmarked by white moon or gold sun, by stroke of clock or clang of bell, or shadow lengthening on the way, in the full noon and perfect day, and safety's very citadel. Happy hours have sped, have run, and wrapped in peace, all pain forgot, she whom we love, her white soul shriven, smiles at the thought and wonders not. We have been just a year alone, a year whose calendar is sighs, and dull, perpetual wishfulness, and smiles each covered for a tear, and wandering thoughts half where, half here, and weariful attempts to guess the secret of the hiding skies, the soft, inexorable blue, which gleaming hints of glory zone and heaven behind, just shining through. So sweet, so sad, so swift, so slow, so full of eager growth and light, so full of pain which blindly grows, so full of thoughts which either way have passed and crossed and touched each day. To us a thorn, to her a rose. The year so black, the year so wide, like rivers train their course have run. The earthly stream we trace and know, but who shall paint the heavenly one? A year we gather up our powers, our lamps we consecrate and trim, open all windows to the day and welcome every heavenly air. We will press forward and will bear, having his word to cheer the way. She storm-tossed once is safe with him, healed, comforted, content, forgiven. And while we count these heavy hours, has been a year in heaven. April by Susan Coolidge. Hark upon the east wind, piping, creeping, comes a voice all clamorous with despair. It is April, crying song, weeping, over the chilly earth so brown and bare. When I went away, she murmurs, sobbing, all my violet banks were starred with blue. And oh, who has been here, basely robbing bloom and odor from the fragrant crew? Who has reft a robin's hidden treasure, all the speckled spheres he loved so well, and the buds which danced in merry measure to the chimming of the hyacinth's bell? Where are all my hedgerows flushing with maying, and the leafy rain that tossed so fair, like the spray from silver fountains playing, where the elm trees column rose in air? All are vanished, and my heart is breaking, and my tears they slowly drip and fall. Only death could listen without waking to the grief and passion of my call. Thus she plaineth, when 10,000,000 voices, tiny, murmurous, like drops of rain, raised in song, as in the wind rejoices, ring re answer, "We are here again! We are hiding, April. Did you miss us? None of us were really gone away. Stop the pretty heat and gentle kiss us, once before we all come out to play. Here are all the clustering birds of roses, and the dandelion's mimic sun. Of thy much-beloved and vanished posies, none are missing, not a single one. Little points of green push out to greet her, little creepers grasp her garment's hem, hidden sweetnesses grow ever sweeter, and she bends and brightly smiles at them. Every tear is answered by a blossom, every height of songs and laughter blend. Apple blooms upon the breezes toss her. April knows her own, and is content. At the Gate by Susan Coolidge. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Thy kingdom here, Lord, can it be? Searching and seeking everywhere for many a year. Thy kingdom come, has been my prayer. Was that dear kingdom all the while so near? Blinded and dull with selfish sin, have I been sitting at the gates, called beautiful, where thy fair angel stands and waits, with hand upon the lock to let me in? Was I the wall which barred the way, darkening the glory of thy grace, hiding the ray which, shining out as from thy very face, had shown to other men the perfect day? Was I the bar which shut me out from the full joyance which thy taste to spirits are, within thy paradise embraced, thy blessed paradise which seemed so far? The vision swells, I seem to chase celestial breezes, rustling low. Fierce folders where singing softly ever to and fro, moves each fair saint who in thy presence dwells. Let me not sit another hour, idle awaiting what is mine to win. Blinded in wit, Lord Jesus, rend these walls of self and sin. Beat down the gate, that I may enter in. Christmas by Susan Coolidge. How did we keep his birthday when, where little fair Christ so long ago? How many were to be housed and fed, and there was no place in the inn, they said. So into the manger the Christ must go, to lodge with the cattle and not with men. The oaks, they munched the hay, they munched and they slumbered, wondering not, and out the midnight cold and blue, the shepherd slept and the sheep slept too, till the angel's song, the bright star ray, guided the wise man to the spot. But only the wise men kneeled and praised, and only the shepherds came to see, and the rest of the world cared not at all for the little Christ in the oxen's stall. And we are angry and amazed that such a dull, hard thing should be. How do we keep his birthday now? We ring the bells and we raise the strain, we hang up garland everywhere, and bid the tapers twinkle fair, and feast and frolic, and when we go back to the mine, old lives again. Are we so better than they who fail the newborn Christ to see? To them a helpless babe, to us he shines a Saviour glorious, our Lord, our friend, our all, yet we are half asleep this Christmas day. Easter by Susan Coolidge. When dawns on earth the Easter sun, the dear saints feel an answering thrill. With whitest flowers their hands they fill, and singing all in unison. And to the battlements they press the very march of heaven, how near, and bend and look upon us here with eyes that rain down tenderness. Their roses brim the fragrant dew, the lilies fair rise on high. Rejoice, the Lord is risen, we cry. Christ is arisen, we prove it true. Rejoice and dry those fadeless tears, with which your Easter flowers are stained. Share in our bliss, who have attained the rapture of the eternal years. Have proved the promise which endures the love that deigned, the love that died. Have reached our haven by his side. Are Christ's, but none the less are yours. Yours with a nearness never known, but parted by the veils of sense. Infinite knowledge, joy intense, a love which is not love alone, but faith perfected, vision free, and patience limitless and wise. We love the Lord is risen, arise, and dare to be as glad as we. We do rejoice, we do give thanks, O blessed ones, for all your gain, as dimly through these mists of pain you catch the gleaming of our ranks. The will arise with zeal increased, blending the while we strive and grow, our paler festival of hope with your fruition's perfect feast. Bend low, beloved, against the blue, lift higher still the lilies fair, till following where our treasures are, we come to join the feast with you. 18 by Susan Coolidge. Are grown a dim and fair shade, dear child, who 15 years ago out of our arms escaped and fled with swift white feet, as if afraid to hide beneath the grass, the snow, that sunny little head. This is your birthday, fair so fair, and grown to gracious maiden height, and versed in heavenly lore and ways, wide-wested, as the angels are, in very light, somehow, somewhere, you keep the day. With those new friends whom new we call, but who are dear now when we and better known by fate and name, how do they smile and say, how tall the child becomes, how radiant, she who was so little when she came. Darling, we count your 18 years, 15 in heaven, on earth but free, and try to frame you grown and wise, but all in vain, there still appears only the child you used to be, our baby with her violet eyes. From East to West by Susan Coolidge. The boat cast loose her moorings. Goodbye was all we said. Goodbye, old world, we said with a smile, and never looked back as we sped, a shining wake of foam behind to the heart of the sunset red. Heavily drove our plunging keel, warring waves between. Heavily strove we night and day against the west wind keen, bent like a foe to bar our path, a foe with an awful mind. Never a token met our eyes from the dear land far away. No storm-swept bird, no drifting branch to tell us where it lay. Wearily searched we, hour by hour, through the mist and the driven spray, till all in a flashing moment the fog waves rent and flew, and a blithesome south wind caught the sails and whistled the cottage through, and the stars swung low the silver lamps in the dome of airy blue. And, breathed from unseen distances, a new and joyous air caressed our senses suddenly with rapture fresh and rare. It is the breath of home, we cried, we feel that we are where. Our land whose tent roof is the dome of heaven's purest sky, whose mighty heart inspires the wind of glad strong liberty, standing upon thy sunset shore beside the waters high. Long may the rosy smile be bright above the ocean din, thy young, undaunted voice be heard, calling the whole world kin, and ever be thy arms held out to take the storm tossed in. Hope and I, by Susan Coolidge. Hope stood one morning by the way, and stretched her fair right hand to me, and softly whispered, "For this day I'll company with thee." "Ah no, dear Hope," I sighing said, "oft have you joined me in the morn, but when the evening came, you fled and left me all forlorn. 'Tis better I should walk alone than have your company a while, and when to lose it and go on for very mile on mile." She turned, rebucked, I went my way, but said the sunshine seemed and chill. I missed her all the day, and oh, I miss her still. How the Leaves Come Down, by Susan Coolidge. I'll tell you how the leaves come down. The great tree to his children said, "You're getting sleepy, yellow and brown. Yes, very sleepy, little red. It is quite time you went to bed." "Ah," begged each silly pouting leaf, "let us a little longer may, dear father tree. Behold our grief, 'tis such a very pleasant day. We do not want to go away." So just for one more merry day to the great tree the leaflets clung, frolicked and danced and had their way, upon the autumn breezes swung, whispering all their sports and more. Perhaps the great tree will forget and let us stay until the spring, if we all beg and coax and fret. But the great tree did no such thing. He smiled to hear their whispering. "Come, children, all to bed," he cried, and ere the leaves could urge their prayer, he shook his head, and far and wide, fluttering and rustling everywhere, down sped the leaflets through the air. I saw them on the ground where lay, golden and red, idle swarm, waiting till one from far away, white bedclothes heaped upon her arm, should come to wrap them safe and warm. The great bed tree looked down and smiled. "Good night, dear little leaves," he said, and from below each sleepy child replied, "Good night," and murmured, "It is so nice to go to bed." In the Mist, by Susan Coolidge. Sitting all day in the silver mist and silver silence all the day, save for the low soft kiss of spray and the lisp of sands by waters kissed, as the tide draws up the bay. Little I hear and nothing I see, wrapped in that veil by fairies spun. The solid earth is vanished for me, and the shining hours speed noiselessly, a web of shadow and sun. Suddenly out of a shifting veil a magical bark, by the sunbeams lit, flits like a dream, or seems to flit, with a golden prow and a gossamer sail, and the waves make room for it. A fair swift bark from some radiant realm, its diamond cordage cuts the sky in glittering lines. All silently a seeming spirit holds the helm and steers. Will he pass me by? Ah, not for me is a vessel here, noiseless and fast as a sea-bird's flight. She swerves and vanishes from my sight. No flap of sail, no parting cheer, she has passed into the light. Sitting some day in a deeper mist, silent, alone, some other day, an unknown bark from an unknown bay, by unknown waters lapped and kissed, shall near me through the spray. No flap of sail, no scraping of keel, shadow dim with a banner dark. It will hover, will pause, and I shall feel a hand which beckons, and shivering steal to the cold strand of embark. Embark for that far mysterious realm, whence the fathomless, trackless waters flow. Shall I see a presence dim, and now a gracious hand upon the helm, nor be afraid to go? And through black wave and stormy blast, and out of a fog raft dense and dun, guided and hailed shall the vessel run, gain the fair haven, night being past, and anchor in the sun. Left Behind, by Susan Coolidge. We started in the morning, a morning full of glee, all in the early morning, a goodly company, and some were full of merriment, and all were kind and dear, but the others have pursued their way, and left me sitting here. My feet were not so fleet as theirs, my couch soon was gone, and so I lagged and fell behind. Although they cried, "Come on," they cheered me and they betide me, but one by one went by, for the stronger must outstrip the weak, there is no remedy. Some never looked behind, but smiled, and swiftly, hand in hand, departed, with a strange, sweet joy I could not understand. I know not by what silver stream where roses bud and blow, but I am glad, oh very glad, they should be happy so. and somewhere went companionless, yet not alone it seemed, for there were sounds of rustling wings and songs, or else we dreamed, and a glow from lights invisible to us lit up the place, and tingled as with glory each dear and parting face. So happy, happy did we look, as one by one we went, but we who missed them sorely were fain to be content, and I who sit the last of all, left far behind alone, cannot be sorry for their sakes, but only for my own. My eyes seek out the different paths by which I wend away, and oft I wish to follow, but often I wish to stay. For fair as may the new things be, the farther things may know, this is a pleasant resting place, a pleasant place also. There are flowers for the gathering, which grow my path anear, the skies are fair, and everywhere the sun is warm and clear. I have missed the wine of life, a strong wine and the new, but I have my wells of water, my sips of honeydew. So when I turned my thoughts from woes to shared my dawn of day, my fresh and joyous morning prune, and now are passed away, I can see just how sweet all is, how good, and be resigned to sit thus in the afternoon, alone and left behind. Mary, by Susan Coolidge. With rosy summer and the flowering limes had laid her down at ease, lulled by soft sportive winds, whose tickling chimes summoned the wandering bees to feast and dance and hold high carnival within that vast and fragrant banquet hall. She stood, my Mary, on the wall below, poised on light, arching feet, and drew the long green branches down to show where hung, mid odors sweet, a tiny miracle to touch and view, the humming-bird's small nest and pearls of blue. Fair as the summer's self she stood and smiled, with eyes like summer sky, wistful and glad, half matron and half child, gentle and proud and shy. Her sweet head framed against a blossoming bow, she stood a moment, and she stands where now. 'Tis 16 years since, trustful, unafraid, in a full noon of light, she passed beneath a grass-curtaining shade out of our mortal sight. And springs and summers bearing gifts to man, and long, long winters have gone by since when. And each some little gift has brought to dress that unforgotten bed, violet anemone, or lady's tress, or spray of berries red, or purpling leaf, or mantle pure and cold, or thin-out snow wrapped round it fold and fold. Yet still she stands, a glad and radiant shape, set in the morning fair, that vanished morn which had such swift escape. I turn and see her where, the arch, sweet smile, the bending, graceful head, and seeing was, why do I call her dead? May, by Susan Coolidge. New flurries scan strewed everywhere, new sunshine poured in largest fair. We shall be happy now, we say. A voice just trembles through the air and whispers, May. Nay, but we must. No tiny bud, but thrills with rapture at the flood of fresh young life which stirs today. The same wild thrill irradiates our blood. Why hint of May? For us are coming fast and soon the delicate witcheries of June, July, which ankles deep in hay, the boneless autumn, like a mocking tune, again sounds May. Spring's last-born darling, clear-eyed, sweet, pauses a moment, with white twinkling feet and golden locks in breezing play, half teasing and half tender to repeat her song of May. A month of hope, all promised glee, all merry meanings lie in we. Surely no cloud can dawn thy day, for ripe lips part in smiling mockery, and murmur May. Still from the smile a comfort may we gleam, all our must-be's and shall-be's idle seem. Close to our hearts one little word we lay. We may not be as happy as we dream, but when we may. Morning, by Susan Coolidge. Our word and thing most beautiful. Our yesterday was cold and dull. Grey mist obscured the setting sun. Its evening wept with sobbing rain. But to and fro mid shrouding night, some healing angel swift has run, and all is fresh and fair again. Our word and thing most beautiful. The hearts which were of cares so full, the tired hands, the tired feet, so glad of night are glad of morn. Where are the clouds of yesterday? The world is good, the world is sweet, and life is new and hope reborn. Our word and thing most beautiful, our coward soul and sorrowful, which sights do not the ebbing light give place to evening's shadowy grey. What are these things but parables? The darkness heals the wrongs of day, and dawning clears all mists of night. Our world and thing most beautiful, the little sleep our cares to lull, the long soft dusk and then sunrise, to waken fresh and angel fair, light all renewed and cares forgot, ready for heaven's glad surprise. So Christ, who is our light, beware. My Birthday, by Susan Coolidge. Who is with so gentle slips through my door and stands and sighs, hovering in soft eclipse, with a finger on her lips and meaning in her eyes? Once she came to visit me in white robes with festal airs, glad surprises, songs of glee. Now in silence cometh she, and a sombre garb she wears. Once I waited and was tired, chid her visits as too few. Crownless now and undesired, she to seek me is inspired oftener than she used to do. Grave coming is and still sober her appealing mind. Tender thoughts her glances fill, but I shudder as one will when an open grave is seen. Wherefore, friend for art, should wrong we was and grief? Wherefore push we for my heart, of my morning word part, be a part too of my eve? See, I hold my hand to meet that cold shadowy hand of thine. Hold it firmly, it is sweet, was to clasp and was to greet, through no more in full sunshine. Come and freely seek my door, I will open willingly. I will try to pass no more, looking to the things before, led by pathways known to we. My Little Ghost, by Susan Coolidge. I know where it lurks and hides, in the midst of a busy house, in the midst of a children's glee. All clay its shadows bites, nobody knows but me. On a closet shelf it dwells in the darkest corner of all, mid rolls of rowan and fir and faint, forgotten smells of last year's lavender. But a ghost has its dwelling where nobody else would guess. Only a babe's shoe, a curl of golden hair, you would say, a toy or two. A broken doll, whose lips and cheeks of waxen bloom show dents of fingers small, little fair fingertips, a worn sash, that is all. Little to see or to guess, but whenever I open the door, there faithful to its post, with its eyes set tenderness, I see my little ghost. And I hasten to shut the door, I shut it tight and fast, lest the sweet, set-fingered free, lest it flit beside on the floor and sadden the day for me. Lest between me and the sun, and between me and the heavens, and the laugh in the children's eyes, the shadowy featured run, the faint gold curls arise, like a gleam of moonlight pale, and all the warmth and the light should die for the summer day, and the laughter turn to wail, and I should forget to pray. So I keep the door shut fast, and my little ghost shut in, and whenever I cross the hall I shiver and hurry past, but I laugh it best of all. My Rights, by Susan Coolidge. Yes, God has made me a woman, and I am content to be just what he meant, not reaching out for other things, since he who knows me best and loves me most has ordered this for me. A woman to live my life out in quiet womanly ways, hearing the far-off battle, seeing as through a haze the crowding, struggling world of men fight through their busy days. I am not strong or valiant, I would not join the fight, or joustle with crowds in the highways, to sully my garments white. But I have rights as a woman, and here I claim my right. The right of a rose to bloom in its own sweet separate way, with none to question the perfumed pink, and none to utter a nay, if it reaches a root or points a thorn, as even a rose tree may. The right of a ladybird to grow as the Lord should please, by never a sturdy oak rebucked, denied nor sun nor breeze, for all its pliant slenderness, kind to the stronger trees. The right to a life of my own, not merely a casual bit of somebody else's life flung out, that, taking hold of it, I may not stand a cyper, thus after a numeral writ. The right to gather and glean what food I need and can, of the gaunt store of knowledge which man has heaped for man, taking the free hands freely and after an ordered plan. The right are best and sweetest, to stand all dismayed whenever sorrow or want or sin call for a woman's aid, with none to call a question, but never a look gainsaid. I do not ask for a ballad, though very life were at stake. I would beg for the nobler justice, that man for manhood's sake should give ungrudgingly, nor the fold till I must fight and take. The fleet foot and the feeble foot both seek the self-same goal. The weakest soldier's name is writ on the great army roll, and God, who made man's body strong, made too the woman's soul. November, by Susan Coolidge. Dry leaves upon the wall, which flap like rustling wings and seek escape. A single frosted cluster on the grape still hangs, and that is all. It hangs forgotten, quite forgotten in the purple vintage day, left for the sharp and cruel frosts to slay the daggers of a night. It knew the thrill of spring, it had its blossom time, its perfumed noons. Its pale green spheres were round to soft runes of summer's whispering. Through balmy morns of May, through fragrances of June and bright July and August, hot and still, it hung on high and purpled day by day. Of fair and mantling shapes, no braver, fairer cluster of a tree. And what when is this thing has come to be among the other grapes, the lonely tenant of a leafless vine, granted the right to grow thy mates beside, to rip thy sweet juices, but denied thy place among the wine? How we are dull and blind, the riddle is too hard for us to guess, the why of joy or of unhappiness, choose nor left behind. But everywhere a host of lonely lips shall read their type in a vine, grapes which may never swell the tale of wine, left out to meet the frost. Of such as I have, by Susan Coolidge. Love me for what I am, love, not for sake of some imagined thing which I might be. Some brightness or some goodness not in me, born of your hope, a stone to ice that wake imagined morns before the morning break. If I, to please you, whom I fain would please, reset myself like new key to old tune, chained forge, remodeled action, very soon my hand would slip from yours, and by degrees the loving forty friends so close today would vanish, and another take her place, a stranger with a stranger's crucialness, a new regard, an unfamiliar face. Love me for what I am, then, if you may, but if you cannot, love me either way. On the Shore by Susan Coolidge. The punctual tide draws up the bay with ripple of wave and hiss of spray, and the great red flower of the lighthouse tower looms on the headland far away. Petal by petal its sphere rose out of the darkness buds and grows, a dizzying shape on the dim, far cape, a beckoning shape as it becomes and goes. A moment of bloom, and then it dies, and the windy cliff twixt the sea and skies. The fog laughs low to see it go, and the white waves watch it with cruel eyes. When suddenly out of a midst cloud dun is touched and wooed by unseen sun, again into sight bursts a rose of light and opens its petals one by one. Ah, the storm may be wild and the sea be strong, and man is weak and the darkness long, but while blossoms the flower and the lighthouse tower, there still is place for a smile and a song. Overshadowed by Susan Coolidge. Mid the thronged bustle of a city street and the hot hush of noon, I wait with folded hands and nerveless feet. Surely he will come soon. Surely the healer will not pass me by, but listen to my cry. Long are the hours in which I lie and wait, heavy the load they bear, but he will come ere evening. Soon or late I shall behold him there, shall hear his dear voice all the longer through. What wilt thou that I do? If thou but wilt, Lord, thou canst make me clean. Thus shall I answer swift, and he will touch me as he walks serene, and I shall rise and lift this couch so long my prison house of pain, and be made whole again. He lingers yet, but lo, a hush, a hum. The multitudes press on after some leader. Surely he is come. He nears me, he is gone. Only a shadow reached me as he went, yet here I rest content. In the dear shadow, like some healing spell, a heavenly patience lay. Its balm of peace enwrapped me as it fell. My pains are fled away. The weariness, the deep unrest of soul, I am indeed made whole. It is enough, Lord, though the face divine was turned to other men. All were not touched, no questioning voice was mine. Thou wilt come once again, and if thy shadow brings such bliss to me, what must thy presence be? Secrets by Susan Coolidge. In the long, bright summer, dear to bird and bee, when the woods are standing and villages green and gay, merry little voices sound from every tree, and we whisper secrets all the day. If we knew the language, we should hear strange things. Miss Cherry, Miss Flurry, deep in private chat. How are your nestlings, dear? Do they use their wings? What was with the tale about the cat? Where is your new cottage? Hush, I pray you, hush. Please speak very softly, dear, and make no noise. It is on the lowest bough of a lilac bush, and I'm so dreadful afraid of boys. Mr. Cherry chose the spot without consulting me. Such a very public place, and insecure for it. I can scarcely sleep at night for nervousness, but he says I'm a silly thing and doesn't mind a bit. So the bluebirds have contracted, have they, for a house, and the nest is on the way for little Mr. Wren? Hush, dear, hush, be quiet, dear, quiet as a mouse. There are weighty secrets, and we must whisper them. Close the downy dovagers nestle on the bough, while the timorous voices soften low with dread, and we walking underneath little reckon where mysterious are courting in the treetops overhead. Are the pretty whisperers. It was very well when the leaves were thick and green a while ago. Leaves are secret keepers, but since the last leaf fell, there's nothing hidden from the ice below. There are the brown tenements, and all the world may see what Mrs. Cherry, Mrs. Flurry hid so close that day. In the place of rustling wings, cold winds rustling be, and thickly lie the icelets where once the warm brood lay. Shall we tease the birdies when they come back in spring? Tease and tell them we have found all their secrets small, every secret hidden place and dear and precious thing which we left behind the leaves, the red leaves in the fall? They should only laugh at us and wink their saucy eyes and answer, last year's secrets are all past and told. New Year's bring new happiness and fresh mysteries. You are very welcome to the tales once of the old. The morning comes before the sun by Susan Coolidge. Slow buds the pink dawn like a rose from out night's grey and cloudy sheet. Softly and still it grows and grows, petal by petal, leaf by leaf. Each sleep-imprisoned creature breaks its dreamy fetters, one by one, and love awakes and labor wakes. The morning comes before the sun. What is this message from the light, so fairer than the light can be? Youth stands a tiptoe, eager, bright, and hastes the rising sun to see. Ah, check thy long and restless heart, corned with sharp moments as we run. It is life's best and fairest part, this morning hour before the sun. When once thy day shall burst to flower, when once the sun shall climb the sky, and busy hour by busy hour the urgent noontide draws anigh, no long shadows creep abreast to dim the happy task half done. Thou wilt recall this pause of rest, this morning hush before the sun. To each one dawning and one dew, one fresh young hour is given by fate. One rose flush on the early blue, be not impatient when, but wait. Clasped with sweet peace on earth and sky, by midnight angels woven and spun. Better than day's prophecy, the morning comes before the sun. Through the Door by Susan Coolidge. The angel opened the door a little way, and she vanished as melts a star into the day. And just a second's space o'er the bar he drew, the pitying angel paused, and we looked through. What did we see within? Who can tell? What glory and glow of light, inevitable, what peace in the very air, what hush and calm, soothing each tired soul like healing balm. Was it a dream we dreamed, or did we hear the harping of silver harps divinely clear? A murmur of that new song, which soft and low the happy angels sing as we go? And, as in the legend old, the good monk heard, as he paced his cloister dim, a heavenly bird, and wrapped and lost in the joy of a wondrous song, listened 100 years, nor deemed them long. So chained in sense and limb, all blind with sun, we stood and tasted the joy of our vanished one. And we took no note of time, till soon or late the gentle angel sighed and shut the gate. The vision is closed and sealed, we are come back to the old accustomed earth, the well-worn track, back to the daily toil, the daily pain, but we never can be the same, never again. We who have bathed in noon, all radiant white, shall we come back content to sit in night? Content with self and sin, the stain, the blot? To have stood so near the gate and enter not? Our glimpse so swift, so sweet, so soon withdrawn. Stay with us, light our dusk till day shall dawn, until the shadows flee, and to our view again the gate unbars, and we pass through. Till the Day Dawn by Susan Coolidge. Why should I worry you, dear heart, with words all discordant with a foolish pain? Thoughts cannot interrupt, or prayers do wrong, and soft and silent as the summer rain, mine fall upon your pathway all day long. Given as God gives, counting not the cost of broken box or spilled and fragrant oil, I know, in spite of your strong carelessness, rest must be sweeter, worthier must be toil, touched with such mute, invisible cares. One of these days our weary ways quite trod, made free at last and unafraid of man, I shall draw near and reach to you my hand, and you, well, we shall be spirits when, I think you will be glad and understand. Time to Go by Susan Coolidge. They know the time to go. The fairy clocks strike the inaudible hour in field and woodland, and each punctual flower bows at the signal an obedient head and hasted to bed. The pale anemone glides on a wave of scare-clear good night. The violets tie the purple nightcaps tight, and clasped in hand the dancing combines and blithesome lines. Drop their last courtesies, flit from the scene, and couch them for the rest. The meadow lily folds her scarlet vest and hides it 'neath the grasses, lengthening green. Fair and serene her sister lily floats on the blue pond, and raises golden eyes to count the golden splendor of the skies. The sudden signal comes, and down she goes to find repose in the cool depths below. A little later, in the aster blue departing crowds, a brave and cheery crew. A golden rod, still wide awake and gay, turns them away, folds his bright parasol, and like a little hero meets his fate. The gentians very proud to sit up late next follow, and the fern is tucked and set 'neath coverlet, downy and soft and warm. No little seedling voice is heard to grieve or make complaints the folding woods beneath, no linger dares to stay, for well they know the time to go. Teach us your patience, brave dear flowers, till we shall dare to part like you, within God's will, sure that his clock strikes true, that his sweet day augurs a sweeter more with smiles not sorrow. To 5 by Susan Coolidge. 6 of us once, my darlings, played together band of green bows, which faded long ago, made merry in the golden summer weather, peeled each other with new fallen snow. Did the sun always shine? I can't remember. A single cloud that dimmed the happy blue, a single lightning bolt or peal of thunder, to daunt or bright, unfailing lives. Can you? We quarrelled often, but made peace as quickly, shed many tears, but laughed a while they fell, had our small woes, our childish bumps and bruises, but mother always kissed and made them well. Is it long since? It seems a moment only, yet here we are in bonnets and tailcoats, grave men of business, members of committees, our playtime ended, even baby votes, and star-eyed children whose innocent faces kindled the gladness which was once our own, crowd round our knees with sweet and coaxing voices, asking for stories of an old-time home. Were you once little too? They say astonished. Did you too play? How funny, tell us how. Almost we start forgetful for a moment. Almost we answer, we are little now. Dear friend and lover, whom today we Christian, forgive such brief bewilderment. Why true and kindly hand we hold, we own we fairest, but why yesterday was precious too. So darlings, take this little childish story in which some gleams of the old sunshine play, and as with careless hands you turn the pages, look back and smile as ye smile today. Two Ways to Love by Susan Coolidge. I say she loves me well, and I believe it in my hands to make or mar his life lies utterly, nor can I the strong plea deny, which claims my love for his love's sake. He says there is no face so far as mine, when I draw near, his eyes light up, each ripple of my hair he laughs, the very clunker where he touches fondly where it lies, and roses, roses all the way upon my path fall, strewed by him. His tenderness by night, by day, keeps faithful watch to heap alway my cup of pleasure to the brim. The other woman, full of spite, count me the happiest woman born to be so worshipped. I delight to flaunt this homage in their sight, for me the rose for them its throne. I love them more, I think I do, sure one must love what is so sweet. He is all tender and all true, all eloquent to plead and sue, all strength, born kneeling at my feet. Yet I had visions once of your girlish imaginings of its zest, a possible thrill. But why run over with fancies? Idle dreams no more, I will forget them, this is best. So let him take the past as past, the future with its golden key, into his outstretched hands I cast. I shall love him, perhaps at last, as now I love his love for me. Nor has all other woman may love I may love. He is so great, so beautiful, I dare say, no nearless but in silence lay a heart upon his path, and wait. Poor heart, its healings are so low, it does not heed them passing by, save as one heeds where violets grow, a fragrance, caring not to know the way purple buds may lie. I sometimes think that it is dead, it lies so still. I bend and lean like mother over cradle head, wondering if still faint breaths are shed, like sighs the parting lips between. And when, with vivid pulse and thrill, it quickens into sudden bliss at sound or step or voice, nor will be hushed, although, regardless still, he knows not, cares not, it is his. I would not lift it if I could, the little flame, though faint and dim as glowworm spark in lonely wood, shining where no man calls it good, may one day light the path for him, may guide his way, or soon or late, through blinding blister, wintry rain, and, so content, I watch and wait. Let others share his happier fate, I only ask to share his pain. And if some day when passing by my dear love should his steps arrest, should mark the poor heart waiting nigh, should know it his, should lift it, why? Patience is good, but joy is best. When Love Went by Susan Coolidge. What whispered love the day he fled? Ah, this was what love whispered. You sought to hold me with a chain, I fled to prove such holding vain. You bound me burdens, and I bore the burdens hard, the burdens sore. I bore them all unmurmuring, for love can be a harder thing. You text me often, teased me, wept, I only smiled, and still I kept, through storm and sun and night and day, my joyous, viewless, faithful way. But dear, once dearest, you and I, this day have parted company. Love must be free to give, defer, himself alone is element near. As free as I freely poured my all, enslaved I spurned, renounced my thrall, its wages and its bitter bread. Was whispered love the day he fled. When, by Susan Coolidge. If I were told that I must die tomorrow, that the next sun which sinks should bear me past all fear and sorrow, for anyone, all the fight fought, all the short journey through, what shall I do? I do not think that I should shrink or falter, but just go on, doing my work, nor change, nor seek, nor alter aught that is gone, but rise and move and laugh and smile and pray for one more day. And lying down at night for last sleeping, saying that ear which hearkens ever, Lord, within thy keeping, how should I fear? And when tomorrow brings we nearer still to woe I will. I might not sleep for all, but peaceful, tender, my soul would lie all the night long. And when the morning splendor flashed over the sky, I think that I could smile, could calmly say, it is his day. But if instead a hand from the blue yonder held out a scroll on which my life was writ, and I with wonder beheld unrolled to a long century's end its mystic clue, what shall I do? What could I do, O blessed guided master, other than wis, still to go on the snow, not slower, faster, nor fear to miss the road, although so very long it is, where lead by we, step after step, feeling we close beside me, although unseen, through thorns, through flowers, that the tempest hide we, or heaven serene, assured thy faithfulness cannot betray the love they say. I may not know, my God, no hand revealeth thy counsels wise. Along the path a deepening shadow stealeth, no voice replies to all my questioning thought. The time to tell, and it is well. Let me keep on abiding and unfearing, why will always through a long centuries ripening fruition, or short days, or canst not come too soon, and I can wait if thou come late.